Hello, ladies and gentlemen out there on the interwebs. This is the first live video and audio edition of Binge Brothers podcast. I am your host, and my name is Max Walk, and this is, of course, my best friend, Mr. Kevin Corcoran.
Hello, we're live, Max Walk. What's up, man? How's it going?
You know, we've been saying live that we're live a lot on our numerous podcasts, and it's finally true.
Finally,
It's fantastic. It's swell. I'm totally not stressed at all at work and not busy. But we don't have to talk about that. How are you doing, buddy?
Yeah. Well, hey, that's why we're doing this, on a 9 o'clock on a Wednesday. And last time I think we did, I think the last couple of times we've been doing podcasts is on like a Friday, like at like night too.
I know, exactly.
But Max is in charge of everyone's taxes in the city of Minneapolis, so the man's got to do what he's got to do during the most of his time. So that's why we're lucky to have him here, and we're here to talk about our favorite thing, which is entertainment. I'd say news and movies news, film news.
Yeah, exactly. I didn't give Kevin any notes. He didn't give me any notes. We're just going to go off the cuff and bing, bang, bam, talk about everything that's going on. So,
And
Kevin.
Sounds as well, if anyone is watching, or Max, can you tell on your end if people are like?
Yeah, so we've got up in the left-hand corner, we've got a live viewers. We're sitting at 0 right now. Let's pump those numbers up, everybody. Let's pump those numbers up. And also, I can see the comment section right here, so throw us any comments you have. We are Kevin, you are caught up through all 4 episodes of WandaVision. Am I correct on that?
Yes, I am, and that's something we haven't even talked about. The fact that
we've barely talked about this. I just am realizing Kevin's name on the screen is Huncho Bear, and I'm mortified now, but I'll accept it.
Yeah,
yes.
His name on like PlayStation.
Yeah. So WandaVision, it's 4 episodes in. After one more week on Friday's episode, tomorrow night, I guess, if you're watching on Thursday evening, it will be officially about halfway through the season. And I'm really, really invested in the show, Kevin. You know, I've always really been interested in the Wanda character and in Vision ever since Age of Ultron. They never were my favorite, but I've always thought they were really, really interesting to watch on the screen. So seeing how, Vision's life ended in Infinity War and where we leave with Wanda after Endgame, kind of in a state of depression almost due to, losing Vision and still probably reeling from her brother's loss. I was excited to see where this could go, and I'm extremely happy with how it's gone through 4 episodes, man. This is really exciting, and it's able to show a lot of aspects of the MCU that we haven't seen yet. So what do you think of this as the first foray into phase 4 of the MCU?
Yeah, I mean, just to give you quick thoughts on that. Lindsay and her roommates are actually caught up on everything right now, so that's something that I think that's really interesting. And I think what's great about this show is that it's appealing, it seems like, maybe to a larger mass, maybe a larger audience, just because I think a lot of people, the styling of the first 2, right, the first 3 episodes, first 3 episodes, it's very unique, something that we haven't seen in years, and it's very nostalgic. And I think it's something that's kind of fun and interesting. We're not used to that. Some people are kind of turned off by that, who are looking to, when they go into, watching a Marvel show, they're looking to get action and, all that high-techy stuff that we saw in episode 4, whereas, the first 3 were kind of a big, swinging, hopefully, or I guess throwing something at the wall and hopefully it sticks. And another thing too is I like the fact that it's not like just like a brand new thing where it's like we just forgot the last few movies of what happened in the Marvel universe. I mean, I love the fact that we're still getting the ramifications of Infinity War, and what happened when everyone was gone for 5 years. And I think we're starting to kind of tease in that a little more. And it seems like the show also is also hinting at the fact that it might be bringing in new characters itself that could be big into the Marvel universe for the next few years, or it's also it could be bringing in old larger stars that we I guess weren't expecting to see with the show. So it's really good. I just think it's a good amount, they're putting a good amount of effort into the show.
Yeah, yeah, I agree. You know, it's excellent. You know, the production value is that of an MCU movie. Great take by Lindsay Moore writes in live chat. Thank you, Lindsay. Lindsay's one of our number one supporters. She donates actually $200 a month to our Patreon.
Oh
It's a
my god,
private Patreon. It
Patreon, that's
goes
amazing.
it goes directly to me. I don't give any money of that to Kevin. It does work
Yeah,
for me for free right now
it
because
goes to the
he's
Max
not
Fund.
he's not pulling his weight. So, well, I pay for the Disney Plus. I pay for the HBO Max. You know, we share
You
these
don't pay
things.
for the HBO Max. I get that. That's
I've got my own HBO Max.
no,
Okay,
you get it from
so
me. I thought.
yeah, let's just dive into WandaVision. I don't care. Well, this is spoiler talk. Who gives a shit? We're live on YouTube.
All,
We're having a good time.
all that money
So the
goes
biggest
so Max can go to the country clubs and go golfing and spend all of his money on all of his Gucci products. So keep donating to
hey,
his
hey, hey, hey.
Patreon.
If we're gonna be completely honest, it just goes all to the poker table, and I lose it there. So.
Yeah, yeah.
So let's just. Do you think Mephisto is going to be involved in this? That's the main theory here, Kevin. That the devil himself, Mephisto, is going to be either guiding Wanda or trying to continue to corrupt Wanda to turn her fully evil. You know, that's something that's been really hinted at and speculated on the internet. You know, I haven't read any spoilers. I heard there were some leaks about what's going to happen in the show, but I haven't read anything. So not trying to spoil anything. I'm not aware of anything of the spoilers. So
I haven't seen the spoilers either. From what I've heard, the rumors online are just the fact that it's going to be a Luke Skywalker type of
yeah,
character introduction, or just somebody
no,
coming
she said
into the
that
story.
it's going to be well because as we know, I guess spoilers for Mandalorian finale. Luke Skywalker showed up. She said there's a cameo on par with Luke Skywalker appearing in Mandalorian. So that's a high bar. And it seems like Doctor Strange, who's a rumored cameo, would not hit that high of a bar, you know? I think that she probably is using a lot of hyperbole. There's not a lot of characters that are going to be on par with Luke Skywalker. Probably the only ones would be Chris Evans or Robert Downey Jr. or somebody huge like a Magneto, Ian McKellen, or Charles Xavier or something huge like that showing up, or Thanos. I don't think any of those are really options though. I think what could be possible is maybe a Tobey Maguire cameo with a multiverse being opened up. Maybe Wanda rips open a multiverse and pulls Andrew Garfield or Tobey Maguire, or maybe a villain from one of those series or movies, series of films. Um, but I think the most likely cameo, which may not even be the big one, would be Doctor Strange. I'm excited to see if Benedict Cumberbatch will show up here, but I would like that. I want to see more of Doctor Strange.
So again, and we can move on after this. But quick question: when was this shot, like movie shot itself, and when was it finished?
It was all shot before COVID, so I believe it was around the same time they shot Mandalorian season 2, so like end of 2019, beginning of 2020. They probably shot in their first few months and got it finished kind of before. They might have had to do some a few days of reshoots. Um, in the middle of the pandemic just for pickup shots and whatnot. But I think they did all the posts during the pandemic and have finished it since then. So it might have even been in the middle of 2019. So that would have even made so filming it that long ago means really anybody could have shown up because with the pandemic, with the eyes on all these big productions, a lot of things are getting through the cracks, I'd suppose. But there was no real leaks of who was on set, who could have showed up. So it really could be anybody. I'm hoping that it's somebody that none of us are expecting or guessing, honestly.
It makes me a little nervous, and I wonder maybe if there's reshoots from Mandalorian, maybe they heard about this, or I'm just a little nervous that they would say something like that because that was like huge. Like you and I were screaming
Yeah,
at our
I
TV
was
screen
watching it
when
at
we saw that.
7:30 in the morning.
Everyone rejoiced. Everyone went crazy for it. So
I
like to
text
me, it's like I don't want them to set themselves up for a failure by saying this. What if it is if it is Doctor Strange? Is that really the something like that? Is that really that
That's what I'm
huge
saying.
considering Luke Skywalker is literally the main character from a movie 30, 40 years ago that still lives in every generation of fans' hearts? You know what I mean? That's where I'm kind of wondering what's
Yeah,
their goal with doing that.
I know. I think that also the aspect of this that we should probably not put too much weight on is that this is Elizabeth Olsen, the star, the number one star of this show, that said this in the interview, that there's this cameo on the levels um, of Mark Hamill showing up in The Mandalorian, and the star of the show is going to want to hype up the show. It's going to want to get people excited and talking about it.
But you can say almost anything but that. That's I guess my only thing. Like that's why bring that up? Why compare it? Two different worlds. You know what I mean? She's going out of her way to do that.
Yeah. Well, I also could think, as a star of the show, she could think that a cameo like Doctor Strange, or even the return of Quicksilver, her brother in the series, or something like that, she could think herself that that's equivalent as maybe the star. Who knows? I don't want to speculate into what she's exactly saying, but what's his face? Who plays Vision? I'm getting really pissed off.
Is Evan Peters, or sorry, Vision is Paul Bettany.
Paul Bettany, thank you so much. Wow, I'm failing my movie trivia mind. Yeah, I mean, Evan Peters is a very much rumored name, but he's rumored to be playing a new character in the show. So who knows? He could also show up from the multiverse as the Quicksilver from the X-Men universe. There's all these options, and I don't know how they're going to fit. The thing I'm scared about is they're going to have a big character like this. They're going to have somebody show up, and it will seem like, oh, it's just a big character moment. And I'm scared of that, but I also know Kevin Feige doesn't do anything if there's not a reason for it, if he doesn't have a big plan. He creates these things, these big moments that feel organic, even if, they could be out of the blue. So I just hope that it has that weight and that, believability that Luke Skywalker had showing up in Mandalorian, because that was like the best thing they could have done on that show. And I think that whatever Kevin Feige has built with WandaVision and what he's going towards, I just hope it is as believable and it doesn't just come off like a not cash grab, but just almost like a thing to get people talking and not a story point,
Yeah. I mean, yeah, I think we both can agree it's going to be. We're excited. We like what we've seen so far. We're excited to see what's about to come in. And I mean, yeah.
I think that Lindsay's still in the live chat. Lindsay, what is your theories about WandaVision? If you want to throw that in there, we will give you a shout out, your theories. So
I did hear, and if we want to keep talking, but I did hear a theory. I'm not spoiling it. This is kind of like what it's based on. Now, what are your theories? And I guess what's the name? What's? Do you have any idea do we not want to talk about theories possibly? Like what's with the neighbor Agnes?
I'm totally down to talk theories. Yeah. So I was kind of going in that direction at first. I wasn't trying to go directly to the cameo story from today, but yeah, let's go into theories, because that's kind of where my mind goes, at least immediately, with 5 episodes still left. So Catherine Hahn, who I adore, she is a phenomenal actress. She's funny. She can do anything, comedy, drama.
She really is. Any movie she's in, it's pretty, and she's multidimensional, I feel like.
100%, man. And even in this show, we've seen her in 2 decades. We see stills and photos from her and shots from her in these trailers of her in the 80s and 90s, looking fantastic, and like she just can fit it and do anything possible. So I love that she's an addition here. The biggest theory is that she is playing Agatha Harkness, who is
okay. So you and I have heard the same thing, I think, or
we've heard the same thing. I wonder if we listen to the same, theories and recaps.
Is that from beyond? Is that from beyond the trailer?
No, I don't watch them. I listen to a few different ones, but
okay.
And I'm not claiming this is my theory. This is just one of the main theories people are talking about, And I'll claim ignorance in that I don't have a big knowledge of who Agatha Harkness truly is. I know that she is in the comics. I don't know exactly if she's a friend or a foe of Scarlet Witch, but she's deeply connected to her. I think she probably has played both roles in the past. So that's where it comes from. Agatha Harkness. This could be like a blending of the two names as a pseudonym. And a lot of the theories is about with her. Catherine Hahn, who her husband is, because she comments a lot about Ralph, who is that's the pseudonym of Mephisto in the comics, as being her husband. She says, I believe someone talking about the devil, and she says the devil, something about her husband and the devil. I don't have the quote off the top of my head. I'm not a professional yet. We're trying to get there, but
yeah.
I think the Mephisto theory could be really interesting. It'd be really dark because that character, from what I've read and heard about, is basically the devil. It's basically the ultimate evil force that could be potentially the new big bad for the next few years for the MCU. That's the potential that this has here. So, what are your thoughts about that particular theory?
So I mean, I don't really know now. How about this? I'm on a website right now. I think it's L-E-L-L-E. I don't know what it is. I just looked up like top theories for WandaVision. And this is what I've been reading, that apparently and this is the theory, but it's a spin-off of essentially on the comics arcs or the Marvel comic arc of House of M. And essentially with House of M, is that what you've heard too?
Well, this is
Very similar.
It's very similar, and they kind of do odes to that. The House of M, from what I understand, is a comic story that ends with Scarlet Witch erasing all of the X-Men or mutants from existence. Is that correct? I think that's kind of how that ends.
Like at the end of Mutants. Yeah,
exactly. The end of Mutants. Yeah. That's what I was kind of trying to say. I kind of flubbed it, but
no, you're fine.
No, that's an interesting theory. Do you think that it would have to be an adaptation? Obviously, we don't have mutants in this universe yet.
Unless this was somehow, I think the rumors right now are the X-Men aren't coming in possibly until 5, but I've heard that they are going to be introduced in Phase 4 potentially.
I think that they'll start dropping, hints, and they may have the introduction of how they're created in this universe, or if they're brought in through a multiverse. That's really the question: is how are we going to have mutants in this world that hasn't had mutants for the 100-year span that this goes from Captain America: First Avenger through Endgame?
I will say that would be. Oh, sorry, keep going. I didn't mean to interrupt you.
No, I was kind of done. I think I just kind of cleared my throat. So go ahead.
And I guess this would, another theory they have is that Wanda is possibly the show's villain, which would go with the House of M theory. Yeah, I think you can kind of, after looking at the last episode, I would say you can essentially agree that from what it seems like, she might be her own worst enemy right now.
100%. I mean, that's also the beauty of the story, is that there's all these cool comic-y aspects to it, but really what it is it's a story about a woman that's grieving and that has lost so much, and that she's being overtaken by this grief, that she's creating a world so that she can have her relationship with her boyfriend or husband, I guess now. They're married, I guess, in the show.
Which I love it. That's such a dark tone to everything. Yeah. You know what I mean? And they even put it last episode showing the grayed out version of Vision. I think that was such a I thought that was such a cool scene.
It was the best. I think it's the best moment so far. It was the best moment so far. It's got horror. It shocks you because you get that look of Vision with his stone ripped out of his head.
Mm-hmm. How messed up! Yeah.
So that's also the part that you just don't know. Is Vision in this being reanimated and being moved around by Wanda? Is it the corpse, or is it just a recreation of within her world that she created a new person? Because if it's a corpse of Vision and she's fooling around with him in bed and walking around, that's some messed up necrophilia mixed with. Necrophilia mixed with robot sex. I mean, that's,
man. yeah, that's the first thing I thought of too. Totally.
So, obviously, I don't think that's the case. I don't think it's actually his dead body. I think she's made something. Maybe it can't exist outside of her Westview creation, but I think she's built what she wants, what she envisions Vision as. Wow,
right, and we don't really know how much power she has in this. I mean, I've heard that Scarlet Witch essentially is one of the strongest strongest superheroes in the entire Avengers Marvel universe. So I mean, we're really just, I guess. Sorry.
No, sorry. Go ahead.
I would just say that's what I've heard and I've read. Maybe I'm getting it mixed in with the one from X-Men. Maybe she's the strongest one. It's either or, because they have all the powers. And that's something that we haven't really seen enough of yet, of course, with them. And so I don't know.
That's also why I was so interested in the show, is because I have believed, especially as the movies went on, as we saw her in Infinity War and then in Endgame, I think that she is the most powerful, superhero or villain possibly in the MCU as we know it. I mean, she beat Thanos. She had Thanos about to die, and he had to call in, an insane amount of bombs just to save him from Scarlet Witch pulling his limbs and body apart. So that's that's what you're dealing with here. She's the power to create an entire little world in this little town and just have everybody do as she says. She has the power over them. So that's what makes this also so interesting, is seeing how somebody with that amount of power, when she's lost so much and she falls into this state of grief where she has to create a different world, basically, where she can have what she wants or what she's lost. What she's lost is what I mean. That's what's so great. And gosh, I expected to have a good time with this show. I didn't think I would get this invested, this excited for each episode.
Same. Yeah, man. I agree with you. I think I love what they're adding. There's a new layer essentially being added each week, which I think we all like. And I really hope they just keep taking these risks with this show. I hope that, because I love the fact that I don't know what we're going to get every single week going into it every Friday. And I guess now I've read a little bit too about the Mephisto. Apparently, he might potentially be the missing person.
I know. I'm very excited to see what this missing person is going to be. So, with that being said, there's a few comments in the chat we want to get to. Lindsay Moore addressing Kevin. Boy, you don't know what L is. So, you're disappointing our esteemed viewer and patron Lindsay Moore, Kevin, with your.
Please donate more. You're gonna keep asking questions like that.
Well, she actually has a good question here. She asks, from Lindsay Moore, #1 patron and fan of the Binge Brothers, what's your favorite streaming service and why? What's your favorite streaming service and why? So, wow, that's a loaded question. Thank you so much, Lindsay, for adding to the conversation here. We'd love to know your favorite streaming service as well as we kind of go through the answer here.
We'd like to know yours too. If you'd like to take yours down too, potentially into the chat. Don't know if she can hear us right now. Wild guess.
I'd be surprised if she's not listening anymore. I know she's our #1 patron. So if she's not watching, then don't come back, Lindsay, because you've disappointed us and we don't want you back.
What would you think is yours, Max? Or do you want me to give mine?
Yeah, you go ahead first, because this is really a tough question for me.
I think it's tough for me too. I'd say right now it's HBO Max.
Oh man, I honestly think I have to agree. I think I really have to agree. And that's the craziest thing, because it's the one that hasn't blown up. It's blown up the least. But Hulu's really close for me too. I really love Hulu. Mm-hmm. That's what Lindsay Moore says. She's been vibing with Hulu lately. Hulu's been my favorite for a long time. It has has a great catalog of TV shows and movies constantly. It's getting a lot of the Fox movies that Disney acquired, because Disney owns Hulu. Yeah, those are coming through a lot more now. A lot of those, Deadpool's on there. A lot of the Fox movies and Fox Searchlight films from those distribution companies are coming to Hulu quicker and quicker as those rights come back to Disney. So that's going to expand its catalog of films. But HBO Max, it has HBO, and HBO has been the best quality shows for 25 years on television. So you've got Sopranos, you've got HBO, you've got Curb Your Enthusiasm, you got Barry, and now it's coming in. It's building on that with DC shows that are coming. With they're dropping theatrical films every month. Maybe some months too. I think it's like 14 throughout the year. They're dropping them the same day as theaters, which is huge. I watched a Denzel Washington movie for the first time last Friday when it came out on HBO Max, which is kind of unreal. I didn't like it, but that's besides the point, I suppose.
Yeah, here's the thing. We can agree, but also HBO was there. Now I'm saying, since I've owned HBO Max, though, I don't know if necessarily I've been, because I watch every single one of your shows you're talking about when I had HBO. HBO Max has not essentially brought a ton to the table for me. I just use it as just because, you know what I mean? There's a few shows, of course, I'm just thinking, you know, and
Friends.
when I think of the catalog, Friends I watch a lot on there, but when I think of the overall catalog, it's got just an amazing, very solid catalog. But you know, again, this is all HBO, and I think, you know, I was talking to Lindsay's, like I was talking to Lindsay, and her dad is HBO, but not HBO Max, which is a free. You can get HBO Max if you have HBO, but nobody knows. It's
No,
confusion.
that's where they're messing up because
Yeah, their
there's
marketing
so
shit.
there was so many millions of HBO subscribers through cable, through YouTube TV, through Amazon. I mean, all you have to do is go to HBO Max and activate your account. You just have to log into your HBO account on HBO Max. You activate it, you
Yeah,
get so much more. It's got hundreds, if not thousands, of more films, more TV shows like the libraries of Friends and Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, and so many more shows, and plus a lot of DC movies.
but
It
then if you
really
Google HBO Max, all you're gonna see is bad news about it. You know what I mean?
exactly because it's not getting the subscribers they need, And I think
But
I
also
saw Wonder Woman drove it
they
up.
undercut their, you know, their customer. I mean, they're you know, filmmakers.
They did. Warner Brothers did exactly. They really did. So we've talked extensively about that. But as a service, it's great. I don't love what they're doing. Like as a movie fan, with putting the movies on theaters for the same day, especially like when it comes to Dune. I really hope that Dune they don't do that with. But for the time being, for the first few movies they're doing, that it really does make sense. For Judas and the Black Messiah, which comes, I believe, a week
Very
from
excited about
Friday.
that.
Tom and Jerry comes out a month from now. That makes sense as a movie that would come on streaming at the same time as theaters. Kong
Kong
versus
versus Godzilla.
Godzilla, which I'm so excited for.
So excited for.
That's one I'm gonna try to go to a theater to watch first. I don't care if I have it on HBO Max. I'm absolutely gonna try to go see it in IMAX. So
It
I
will look
still will do
fantastic on
that
your
first.
4K TV. If you have 4K TVs, it will look fantastic.
I'm sure it
That
will.
is a movie. That is a movie you will want to watch and see in the biggest screen possible. I'm guessing.
Exactly. So I'm gonna do that, and I can rewatch the scenes with Kong and Godzilla fighting and duking it out on my 4K TV after I see it in theaters. But and that'll be cool to have for 30 days. So that's a great thing it's doing. I just think it really needs to reach more people because people they don't know it's the same cost as HBO. They don't know they have it already if they have HBO. So they need to really have a better knowledge of that. And I think they need to do a Super Bowl. They need to do a Super Bowl trailer that tells people if you have HBO, you have HBO Max. You just have to activate it. I think that would be a great investment. Make it plain and simple. Like activate your HBO Max subscription here, and then also show the movies that are coming. Show Kong versus Godzilla. Show Judas and the Black Messiah. I think that was what's called. The Suicide Squad. A huge Super Bowl trailer could do wonders for HBO Max.
Yeah, no, I completely agree. But yeah, cool. Yeah, I think we all. I think it was a very solid answer.
Yeah.
Hulu is just got such an amazing library
When
as
you
well.
look
So.
at the whole streaming, let's just talk about the streaming wars right now because there's so much really to taking. Because this is the year it really all comes to a head. 2021 was the last year, or 2020 was the last year where the major players got in, and now this year it's like what's going to happen because Disney Plus it's already killing it. It's a year and 3 months in, and it has nearly 100 million subscribers. I mean, they're going to be
With
profitable.
1/10 of the new content, which is kind of funny.
Exactly.
But I mean,
And
but I mean,
that's
when
what's
you have
crazy.
quality, when all their productions are quality,
Yeah. And that's also you have to understand that they've been able to go worldwide quicker, as same as
yeah,
Netflix. Those are the two big ones that have been able to go worldwide. Hulu will never go past the United States, I believe, because they're doing Star as they're adding Star to Disney Plus around the world, but not in the United States, which is going to have that Hulu material, that Hulu content, because we'll just say the United States families they really want to protect their United States, trust they have with American adults that everything on Disney Plus your kids can watch. That's a crucial thing for parents. But around the world, there's a lot more. I won't say, they're just like families are a lot more aren't as worried about that. They're more understanding if they can put a lock on the Star content that then they can choose exactly what they can see. I think that that's just crucial. Hulu is also such a big name in the United States. It makes more sense to expand Disney Plus around the world. Netflix is obviously the biggest streaming company out there, and this year they're dropping a new film every single Friday. There's been one each week so far. There was two last Friday. There's another one this week. There's another one next week. They're not all great.
How
I've watched three of them.
quick question? Yeah, I was gonna ask you, how have the quality of these movies been so far?
So it's obviously hit and miss. I haven't watched
Is
all of
it
them. So
same
the
old kind
first
of
movie that came
Netflix
out
a
was
little bit?
It really depends on the movie. So like there was Pieces of a Woman, which stars Vanessa Kirby and Shia LaBeouf. That was an acquisition from the film festivals. That is potentially going to have some Oscar nominations. I would
Is that a good
say
movie?
potentially for cinematography. Yeah, I think it's a good movie. I liked it. It's not like for everyone. Nobody's gonna. It's not my favorite of the year. I'd say it's a solid B. It's got an amazing opening. 30 minutes or so. That's basically a one take. It's a really heavy subject. It's about. Let's just say there's problems with the childbirth and kind of the fallout of that. So it's a really heavy movie. I think it's
Gotcha.
powerful for a one-time watch, but it's not going to be a killer, streaming hit. The next week, Outside the Wire, an action film with Anthony Mackie came out. I didn't like that. That was the classic
Yeah, it's just gonna
Netflix
be it's gonna be one of those
action
movies where
film.
if you like action, you want to show your brain off, and you got a new action movie on
Yeah,
Netflix. You don't have any of those streaming services. It's a fine movie to watch, I guess.
exactly. So they're always going to have those types of movies, and they're going to have the hits out of those, like The Old Guard, which I really, really enjoyed. So there's some good action movies that they'll drop, and I also liked the Ben Affleck, Oscar Isaac action movie. I can't remember exactly what it was. That came out 2 years ago. Sorry, I can't remember the name of that.
Oh
So
my
they've
gosh,
got
yeah,
some good
you're right.
ones
I
in
can't think
there.
of it either. Yeah, the Chris Hemsworth. I like the Chris Hemsworth, but you know exactly what it is. Is they're not going to blow your.
It's hit and miss.
They're big names. They're spending a lot of money.
Yeah, but they've got big ones coming out. They have a Zack Snyder movie starring Dave Bautista. They've got Red Notice starring Dwayne Johnson, Gal Gadot, and Ryan Reynolds coming out later this year. They've got some big movies. There's also smaller movies that are coming out. The last 2 weeks they had The White Tiger, which is a story about an Indian character, Indian American. I want to say. I don't know
I
exactly. I
heard it
haven't
was.
seen that
Wasn't
one
that a
yet.
pretty good movie too? Isn't the guy from
That's
Slumdog
gotten good
Millionaire in that?
reviews. I don't know if it's the same guy, but it's a prominent Indian director that's had so, and I think it's his first American language film. So I'm gonna check that one out probably this month at some point. But I'm halfway through another film called The Dig, which stars Carey Mulligan. I basically checked that one out because I love Carey Mulligan, and she stars in my favorite movie of the year from last year, Promising Young Woman. She's great in it, and yeah, that's basically what the movies have been so far. Their first, I'd say, huge one of the year comes out this Friday. Malcolm and Marie, starring John David Washington and Zendaya.
Yes. That's gonna be a
So
sad. I
that's
mean, I've heard that looks like it's gonna be a
it's
promising,
gonna be
promising
it's gonna be a
movie.
heavy movie. It was one of the first movies shot during quarantine. Um, I love both of these actors, so I'm
Yeah,
extremely excited for that. I've heard great things. The reviews have come
Zendaya, I
out.
guess, or Zendaya. She's been not rumored. I think she was recently interviewed, and she said this is gonna be like this is a role she's always wanted to play. She loves this character in this movie.
Yeah, I think that it's really, she's playing, I believe, either a girlfriend or the wife, in an adult relationship. It's the first time she's really foraying outside of that, high school kind of girl. She is 22 or 23. She's older, so um, I think it's going to be really interesting to see how that comes off. I am a big fan of hers, and John David Washington's career continues to rise. So I'm super excited for that, directed by Sam Levinson of Euphoria fame. I will give a shout out to the two Euphoria specials that have come out in the last 2 months. I love both of them, and I really hope they can start filming season 2 as soon as possible. Those are on HBO Max.
Yeah,
So,
yeah. My girlfriend, or don't want to name what her name is, but I know Patreon. Patreon of ours is a huge fan of
Patreon
it.
member Lindsay Moore, big fan of Euphoria. Talking directly to you, Lindsay, you should get your boyfriend, Mr. Kevin Corkin, to watch that show because I think it's fantastic as well. All right, so why don't we end it with quickly talking about the Justice League. We've the Zack Snyder's Snyder cut of the Justice League. We have an official release date, Kevin, March 18th. This
Yep.
is 1 month, and it is tomorrow is going to be the 6 weeks away tomorrow. We're 6 weeks away from this movie starting tomorrow. There's been a lot that's come out. We know the Joker joined. We know Mara from Aquaman joined. We also now have learned Martian Manhunter is going to be in this, which we didn't know before. He is being played as one of the characters. I believe he was.
It was the general. He was the general.
I was going to say he was like an army general who is playing Martian Manhunter. He shot scenes for that initially, and those got cut from the initial. Well, that was a lot of what got cut. Obviously, there's a lot of things that we didn't see from what was released. So there's a lot coming out. I'm expecting in the next week or 2 weeks, we need to see a real trailer that's going to really build upon that last trailer we had. It's going to actually have a little bit of meat on it, a little bit of story meat on it, I'd say. And then the final piece of news, which came out just today, I believe, is that it is rated R.
It's going to be rated R. That it's also announced as a 4-hour film. I don't think we brought that up either.
Oh yeah, also yeah. I guess it was reported previously that would be 4 1-hour episodes. They are just going to put it all in one film. So I think I'm happy with that. I think the 4 1-hour episodes could have extended for a month some talk about HBO Max, but also I'd rather watch it all in one sitting. It is a movie. That's what it's supposed to be. So, Kevin, you are the Snyder bro here. What are you thinking here about the Snyder cut in these news?
Well, one, I love the fact that it's about to be rated R. I mean, the better version of Batman versus Superman is rated R. I mean, and I just think that when there's no restrictions on Zack Snyder, which Zack Snyder clearly has no restrictions here when he's got a 4-hour film. I mean, honestly, this is a dream for him come true. I've read, in this past, I think Watchmen was like the director's cut's been like 3.5 hours. Same with Batman versus Superman. So, he's getting all his creative power here to do essentially whatever he wants with it. I love so far the entire tone of everything. I mean, it looked like the Joker. If you look on Twitter, the Joker looks like it looks like almost like a new version of Jared Leto. Did you see that? But at the same time, I know he worked with David Ayer to kind of get like a same vision of some sort. So maybe it's a Joker from before, maybe it's a Joker from after. Who really knows? And we do know he's in the new reshoots, which is just going to be phenomenal.
They reshot it. So, as I think with any character, they'll probably have it not expand it, but, progress the character. They'll have it evolve a little bit. When I saw
we probably shouldn't expect the Joker, essentially exact Joker from Suicide Squad. Would you say?
Yeah. I mean, it's gonna be the same character, but I don't think it's gonna be as, I don't know, stylish or over the top. I guess maybe I don't know. It's gonna be more grounded. It's gonna be more dark.
Not more mob boss, but maybe more Heath Ledger-esque. Would you say?
Yeah, maybe. I'm just excited to see what comes from it. I'm gonna rewatch all of the DCEU before this comes out, so I'm excited.
All right, I'm gonna have to do that same thing. Yeah, I would definitely do that.
Besides Wonder Woman, I watched both of those last month, so I'll probably just watch the rest.
Yeah.
But I don't know. What I do think, I'm happy with it being R. I would have been fine either way, honestly. From the MPA ruling, it was just for some language and some action. So I'm expecting that this is going to be maybe some more blood than usual. You'd expect from.
I mean, from what you've seen for his released photos, the tone of it seems like the tone of this is more of a rated R film. If you look at the photos that he's releasing,
sure.
You know what I mean?
Sure, yeah, that's fair. I mean, I think my only hope is he made the movie he envisioned. He didn't make the movie R because he wanted to throw 2 F words in there. That's all that I would. Yeah. And I don't think that's what he did. I think that he has this coming out on streaming. It's not going into theaters. So I think he made the movie he wanted to make, and he didn't have any, restrictions on what he could add in. So.
Yeah, no, I agree. I mean, it seems like his vision was supposed to be more kind of like from Batman versus Superman. Do you remember the scene where, Batman's dream with Superman in it? And like the entire place is taken over by all those, it's the one where he's in the desert.
Yeah, of course.
It seems to be more like that vision. Yeah, exactly. It seems to be more like that style, I'm guessing. more, just like it
Yeah.
seems like maybe the stakes will be a little bit higher. That's one thing. I mean, you look at the original Justice League, it was just like, oh, Darkseid, he's here, and he's, the stakes weren't necessarily that high.
Yeah, I agree. I don't know. My main thing I'm worried about right now is the black and white thing. I really hope it's not black and white. I know you're not worried about that, but from everything he keeps posting, there's not color in it. If this is black and white, I want there to be color. I want there to be Superman in his red cape, and I want to see the full color of the Batman.
Well, he's gonna be in his dark. He's gonna be in his dark cape.
Well, sure. Whatever. All the Superman, they're gonna show it with both.
Right. I know what you mean. I know what you mean. If you look at what the original trailer they sent out, the colors look phenomenal. The way they presented it looked amazing. So why not do it like that?
Exactly. I'll be disappointed if it's all black and white, but I'll watch it and see what I think. But yeah, so that's our thoughts and our excitement for the Justice League. It's about 6 weeks away, if I can talk. So, Kevin, we've got about 40 minutes here. This is going to officially end our first live episode of the Binge Brothers. I'm so happy we're able to do this. Kevin, where can they find you online, brother?
On this day, I see clearly. Sorry, that's a note to somebody who just won the 2021 Royal Rumble, which you can find out more on Just Three Jobbers, the other YouTube channel that's affiliated with this. But they can find me online on Twitter at Mr. Kevin Corcoran or at J3Jobbers Pod, also on Twitter as well. Hey, come say hi and tweet at my once in. You can go look at my likes or something because I haven't tweeted in a while. But I got to get back more onto that if we keep doing this. So
absolutely, and you can find me at Zwack Max. The spelling is right below my name in that corner. Check it out. Give me a like, and please subscribe, like this video, and check out for our next live stream. We're gonna hopefully try to do this a little bit more often. I know we're both busy with
this. It seems like this worked really well. We need to add maybe we'll add like our Twitter handles or something next to our name or something instead of me putting Huncho B.
Yeah, maybe
I wasn't prepared.
Name. Yeah, that might have been smarter to put our Twitter handles. But
yeah.
Hey, you live and you learn. This is our first live stream, so we hope you enjoyed. Please give us a like and subscribe to our channel, and we'll see you next time on the Binge Brothers.
I love you guys.